Yo, what's up everyone? I'm Chaos Zagers, and today we are doing a For Honor dual tier list. Now here with my friend, also clan leader, Salty, and the reason I'm having here today is because he's a high level player and I kinda need his experience on the characters, kinda make a more balanced tier list. So basically what we did is we talked about all of our opinions, all characters from D to S, and we made up a tier list that we both agree with. And yeah, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, leave a like. But anyways, let's get into the team. So anyways guys, here we have Centurion in the D tier. So main reason why he's in the D tier is because he has a lot of bashes, but they're very reactable, especially his like jab, and his kick one can be delayed but still pretty reactable. And he's also one-dimensional with just heavies, charged heavies. That's about all he has to do. And if your opponent tries to like parry them, then you can usually mix it up with them. But most people don't really try to parry. His lights are okay, and his zone is also really bad because it's his zone's really bad because you can't cancel it. And really he's just overall really weak character with nothing much than heavies. And that's all really I have to say for Cent.
Yep, I do agree that most of these points that Chaos made are mostly correct about Cent. He highly relies on just punishing. Heavy parry punishes in general. He cannot feint his zone like he said. He highly relies on wall punishes, max punishes, being defensive, and just biding your time. At the higher level of the play, he can be easily abused by some of the faster attacks in this game and the offensive meta.
Yeah. And oh, I forgot to mention that the only redeemable qualities is wall splat combo, which is his cutscene, but that's really valid. So yeah, he's pretty weak.
For example, his kick is slow, 600 milliseconds, only guarantees a light.
Yeah. And also, you can't face.
His punch can be dodged.
Oh, forgot to dodge it. Yeah, like that. And also, his unblockable can't be feinted like this. You can't feint his unblockable. So yeah, pretty weak character. And next up in D tier we have Aramusha. Now, main reason why is, you know, he has decent soft feints and all that, but you can just back away from everything he has. You can just back away from everything. Basically, with that being said, you can make his heavy finisher whiff, his deadly feint you can dodge, and the garbage will whiff. So basically, you can just dodge all of his offense. He also has no openers, and really the zone is the only good thing for neutral. And if your opponent can parry that, then you're kind of screwed. He does actually pretty good damage, but it's really hard to actually get anything really off. The only redeemable qualities about him is his he's able to get a top heavy off heavy parry punishes, and he also has his all guard, but it's pretty weak because it's kind of like, you know, one-time thing. It can be baited, but if he does hit, you can get some decent damage, but that's really about it. Just overall, nothing really you can open up your opponent with, so you kind of just have to just wait for your opponent to kind of turtle him out usually. So yeah, and that's all I really got to say for Aramusha.
Alright, so back to what he was saying. You can avoid a lot of Aramusha's attacks just by like backstepping, dodging, etc. Parrying. He has some pretty decent punishes. He's the only character I think that gets a heavy except maybe from heavy parry punish, if I'm not wrong. Might be talking out of my ass there, but yeah, Zus again has some pretty decent punishes that he highly relies upon. His deadly feints are just really, I don't know, easy to predict. At the higher level of the play, it's kind of null and void half his moveset if Chaos wants to demonstrate some of the key points I'm talking about.
Yeah, back up from my back up from my heavy finisher. Or not.
Okay.
Okay, let's put on regen. Here we go. Back up from my heavy finisher.
You can't back up from the heavy finisher, actually. It hits you still, but we're talking about the soft ones.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess you can't do it with certain characters, but you can dodge them still. Yeah. Most characters have. Okay, so that's all we're gonna say about Aramusha.
Yeah, just overall, can be avoided. So yeah,
very predictable. A lot of characters have fast enough backup that they can do a lot of things. Aramusha mirror match doesn't apply to some of the points we were talking about, and when we talk about Aramusha, it really doesn't apply to Aramusha. And an Aramusha mirror match is completely different in a real game where you can backstep. with different characters.
But overall, he's just predictable. Okay, anyways, guys. First up on the C tier, we got Shigoki. Now, some lower-level people might disagree, but I think the reason why is, you know, his unblockables are good and all, but the thing is, you can just back away, dodge roll from them, and just avoid them all the time, basically. And, you know, he really, and also his hug, you can just unlock roll if you're about to get hit by it, and so you can just completely avoid that. And plus, you can still punish it because it has very slow recovery. So basically, people able to easily, like, you know, back away and just avoid his unblockables. He really just has to rely on trading and his headbutt, but his headbutt doesn't guarantee any damage. Plus, some characters like Berserker and Raider can out trade him because they have more damage. So yeah, he really just has to just turtle up usually in high tier, and really just rely on the hype armor, and that's the only reason why he's still C tier. And that's all I really got to say.
Yep. So basically all the points that Chaos made, his zone's also kind of null and void to the same extent. His lights do have hyper armor, so I guess you could hit a lot of people out of a lot of his moves. But like Chaos was talking about, you can roll out of a lot of his moves, like back rolling, like I'm doing right now. If he wants to perform the hug, that'd be great.
Stand back. But yeah. And yeah, his zone is only really useful if you want to do it after a heavy parry punish, but that's it. Yeah.
Like that, you can roll away from it.
And
with some characters, they have a fast roll and they're able to punish it in some way, shape, or form. And even if you don't roll from it, and you just dodge it, if you want to do the hug again, you get even more punish if you just predict it. But the safer way of just negating all the damage is rolling away. Same thing with the unblockables. You do not have to stay as an assassin trading with a Shigoki because sometimes it can be a very bad idea. The Shigoki has good hyper armor and he can trade. But that's all I gotta say about Shigoki as well.
Yeah.
So on to the next hero, guys.
Yeah, he just needs a little more to become a better hero. Anyways, next
up, this is the next hero, guys.
Yeah,
Valkyrie. Of course, no surprise.
Anyways, next up we have Valkyrie in the C tier, and it's no surprise. Really, her only valuable offense in more high tier plays are Shield Crush, and it only guarantees 13 damage, and it's not as good as our bashes. And her sweep is pretty much a null and void because it's reactable. And her lights, you know, are fast, but the only really fast lights are really only go to the top, so you can just predict that from the top, and yeah. And she has great defense, but her offense just really lacks.
Yep. She's just very, very predictable. I want to talk about one more thing that Chaos did not mention. It's her backstep. You can use this to get away from most moves in the game carefully. And if somebody hits her guard, you can punish it. But her sweet follow-ups are very punishable, and her only used really for punishes and just really null and void, like you said. But you can use her backstep to get out of a lot of moves if they're not expecting it.
Yeah.
But the only thing she has going for her is her heavy soft feint. Her heavies do track if they dodge early, if they try to dodge the shield bash.
Oh yeah, she also has a deflect. Do a heavy for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you did it wrong. Okay, you do it.
Yeah, she has a...
It does not guarantee any more than, I think, 25 damage.
Yeah.
But it's still something to get some of her offense going. It used to guarantee a light afterward, but it no longer does.
And she also has pressure counter lights, so...
Yeah. You wanna show that as well?
Yeah.
That's actually a fair bit of damage. Doing more than her heavies, actually. So,
yeah.
If you can, use that to punish.
Yeah. But the thing is, she has good defense, a lot of great defense, but her offense just lacks with just one dash, so predictable.
Okay, the next character, guys, is PK. There's not really much to say about PK. She has a small moveset. She has a lot of soft feints into guard break, into bleed, and into dodge from heavies. Her heavies, her dodge heavies do 17 damage with a free 11 damage bleed. 10 of the damage being bleed damage. Her heavies only do 20 damage from the side and 23 damage from the top, but they guarantee an 11 damage bleed, so they're not as weak as some people say, but still heavily weak in a lot of situations. She has an option select for her zone. Chaos, if you would start up a heavy.
Yeah. Oh.
Oops. Do top heavy. It's easier. She can just option select you out of your attack, for example. Her dodge attacks are useful, but are very slow. And she has low damage on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, she has fast attacks and all that, and bleed, but that's really about it. And she just has to, like, counterattack and just try to get deflects and just really counterattack in high tier play because, you know, she just... A lot of people can block her light attacks and all that. And her and her mix-ups are not that great, so, yeah.
Yeah, very predictable. If I had one word to describe PK, guys, I would probably have to say that she's high risk, low reward. Alright, and with further ado, we're moving on to the next character. Okay, guys, next up on the tier list is Orochi. You know, Orochi, the first person you picked up in the beginning of the game, the light spam. Well, comes as no surprise here that he's actually pretty weak. In my opinion, and also Chaos's opinion. Now, this tier list is opinion-based, but it's really just the majority of opinions, and it's just straight facts, for the most part. He has fast lights. Of course he does. He gets some pretty decent damage off of his top 2 lights. 22, in fact. His zone is decent for an option select. His dodge attacks are easily parried.
There you go.
And punishable. If you can get out of Stamina Chaos, I want to show him the max punish. Yeah,
sure.
Orochi actually has a really good max punish for how, I don't know, for him being an assassin. 2 top heavies is 70 damage. Now that's a lot of damage. For an assassin, it really is. He can also be poked out of his back step. He does not have high bronze. Yeah, it can also be parried and easily predicted. His Riptide Strike from the back is not the best either. Oops, I rolled. It can also be parried and very easily predictable, so do not use it reactively to try to escape some of these mix-ups.
Yeah, but that's really...
Delayed lights are one of the things you're going to rely on in your kit when playing Orochi, and his deflex is pretty decent. The first chain of his deflect does 35 damage, which is a good amount. His charge up deflect does... Okay. 50 damage.
But it can be dodged.
But can be dodged. But the good thing about it is that you can change it into a light deflect mid-swing.
And you got also change to Garbage too. But yeah, that's really all he has. He really just has lights, and if you're going to block your lights, you just gotta play defensive. And his counterattacks are not the best either. And really, he just has really good damage, fast lights, and a good deflect. But that's all he really has.
He's a slow character that relies on patience, guys. So you cannot use him aggressively at any of the higher levels play. You will get your ass kicked.
And he also doesn't have really an opener either, so...
Yep, no unblockables. Alright, with further ado, we're also going to move on to the next character.
We're going to move on to the B tier. Anyways, first up on the B tier, we have Nobushi. Now, some people might agree she might be weaker, but I think she's B tier because of her hint stance, and that's really, because her hint stance is like one of the best, probably the best, defense move in the game. It can dodge a lot of things. You can count Gerbic from it. You can also do double lights, heavies, faint heavies, and you can also do a kick. But the thing is, she also has really high damage as well with her bleed and stuff, but really the only thing that she just lacks in offense. Her only like decent offense move is her kick, but a lot of people can react to it, and she also has slow lights, and she just really doesn't have an opener either. She just has really no offense. She's kind of like half a hero. She just has really good defense, but she doesn't really have any offense. So you just gotta rely on patience and just try to get those high damage in. And she has really good punishes and all that, but just overall, you just gotta kind of turtle with her, really. That's all I gotta really say for Nobushi.
Alright, yep. So, I'm just gonna brush up on what Chaos said, like I did earlier with all the other characters, that me and him actually agree on a lot of the points, but a lot of the attacks are just predictable and you have to play a really good calculation game and just be really focused and patient while playing Nobushi. She's got the Way of the Shark thing where she does 20% more damage when somebody's bleeding.
Yeah.
And that allows her to do some pretty high damage stuff, and also changes a lot of her punishes, but she just heavily relies on punishes and dodging attacks, and just really taking advantage of the other characters' mistakes.
Yeah.
But yep, she's like half a hero, guys.
Yeah.
Like this video if you want an in-depth Nobushi guide.
Anyway, guys,
Okay,
next up
so-
on the B tier, we have Nusha. Now, Nusha is really fast. She has really fast lights, like, oh, I'm sure right now. Yeah, she has just really fast
that?
lights and are really hard to actually, like, you know, block. But higher tier players can block them and even parry them. And so then she has to go rely on her heavies. But she also has traps, which, you know, can be good sometimes, or decent, but can be easily, like, reacted to. You know?
They can actually be backstepped and walked away from.
Yeah. And so, yeah, they're
Also-
really just kind of useless in high tier. And also, she also has a small kit. She also has a deflect, but I think that they can actually be blocked. Her zone's useless, and she just has a small kit, really. And really, the only reason she's B tier is because she's just really fast.
Exactly. So, my take on Nobushi is that she's exactly what Chaos said,
Nusha.
to a really big
It's
degree.
Nusha.
Nusha, yeah, okay, I'm sorry, my wording is bad. But from what Chaos said, it's basically the same thing that he was talking about. Traps are easily avoidable, counterable in many ways, and punishable. Her deflect can be blocked, and she's just really fast, and that's one of the things she's got going for her. When you mix in heavies into her combos, it can sometimes be beneficial to confusing the enemy because they're expecting a light.
Yeah. Do
But
deflect.
her zone is also pretty useless. Okay, I'll do one.
Yeah. It does 4 damage, pretty good, but it can be blocked. So she just has a really small kit. Yeah.
Yep, so that's all we gotta say about Nobushi, guys.
It's Nusha.
See you on the next hero.
Anyways, guys, next up on the B tier we have Warlord. Now, Warlord, it used to be at the top of the tier in the start of the game, when the game started, but now he's like pretty average. He has a headbutt, which is he has a headbutt which guarantees 15 damage. He also has light attacks too that can crush a counter. Oh wait, let me do heavy. And
Okay,
he also has yeah, crush counter. There you go. He also has hyper armor as heavies, which come out very late, but still can be useful. He also has good damage. He also has All Guard, which is pretty atrocious. Like, it doesn't really guarantee much damage. Can't guarantee much damage. Sometimes you can get heavy, sometimes you can get light attack, but really, it's just really janky in that sense. And he also has an undodgeable zone. But yeah, it's a pretty simple moveset. It's a pretty simple hero. And really, in high tier play, he just relies on the headbutt. But if your opponent can dodge it, then you really have nothing much else. But yeah, he's just pretty much a relier on the headbutt, and that's about it. That really makes him reason why he's B tier because of his headbutt. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for Warlord.
Yep, so what I gotta say about Warlord is that, yep, he has some pretty good things in his kit, but then again, a lot of the stuff on his kit is just, I don't know, not as good as some other people's kits. He's just a very average character, and a lot of people's opinions, I can't see anybody telling me that he's super overpowered. A lot of his stuff is just not really chainable, and he has hard access into a lot of things. His full guard's really finicky, his lights out of full guard can be blocked, his headbutt is way more reactable than most average bashers in this game. And his heavies have way too late a hyper armor for them to be useful half of the time. And they nerfed his crushing charge as well,
Yeah.
along with his throw distance.
Yeah, so he can't get as much damage as he could on a wall on guard break. Yeah, wall spread. So.
Yep. Warlord is kind of like Conqueror, in the sense like he's kind of a turtle.
Yeah.
So really have to bunker down for that damage. But that's all I gotta say about Warlord, and on to the next character.
Anyways.
Okay, guys. Next up on the tier list is Gladiator. Okay, so we all knew this was coming. He's not at the top of the pack or the bottom of the pack when it comes to duels. He has kind of a lack of kit, and a lot of his things in his moveset don't guarantee damage, such as his Sucker Punch, and his Toe Stab only does 10 damage. So that's not a lot of damage. He's really kind of average and relies on mix-ups to win the day, and he's really stamina taxing. He's also a really high-risk, low-reward character, and he has the worst reflex guard in the game, and his zone is actually a really nice tool that can be used safely and can be feinted if you have stamina.
Yeah.
Also, his dodge attacks are kind of mediocre and easily parryable. His skewer is pretty nice, and he has one of the best deflects in the game, in many people's opinions.
Well, that tracking though.
I know, right? It has some pretty decent tracking as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't mention this when we were talking about the other assassins, but all assassins really struggle against any heavies, hyper armor, undodgeables. They really struggle. So just keep that in mind, that we considered that assassins are weak to hyper armor, and this is why we put some of the assassins lower on the tier list.
Yeah.
But that's all I really got to say about Gladiator. Just all about the mix-ups and not a lot about guaranteed damage, and you really have to work the win with them. But good players can get the job done for sure.
Yeah, he has a lot of bashes and all that, but doesn't really guarantee much damage. You know, he has a lot of great mix-ups and all that, but yeah, he just has really not much defense, and his reflex guard's really bad and makes him atrocious in fours, but not that weak in duels. He's pretty average duelist overall, and yeah, that's all I gotta say for Gladiator.
Last but not least in the B tier is JJ. Yep. So also, we were gonna put him in A tier, but we considered a lot of things in duels about his nerfs in the past seasons, and we just kind of figured out that I don't know, his lights are pretty easily parryable, predictable, and he runs on a very, very small moveset that is really built for fours. And his Sifu stance can be punished if a player is dodging into it, preventing him from getting stamina. But it's a good tool overall to keep him afloat. He has some decent punishes, but he just really lacks from neutral and struggles to get damage.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a lot of good damage. He has hyper armor his first heavy and unblockable on the second one, but the unblockable can be evaded. He really just is a really defensive hero, and the main reason why he's in B tier is because of the Sifus. And really, that's all really we gotta say. He's just a defensive hero. Not much. He really doesn't have that many mix-ups either, and his lights can be parried. But his Sifus is really good though, and it really helps him. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I got.
His parry counter is also pretty good. He also has a choke and a max punish, but that's not that useful either, because unfortunately it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it drains some stamina. But yep. Okay, everybody, we're finally gonna move into the A tier. Okay, guys. So the first person in the A tier is Kensei. The beginning of the strong characters in this tier list.
I'm gonna play Shaman!
No shit, dude. Shaman is strong.
No. Okay, but anyways, back to Kensei. So Kensei is pretty much a really good character. He has good mix-ups, like he has soft feints on his top heavy, but the top heavy is very slow, so it can be interrupted unless. And he also has an unblockable finisher. Oh, let me get to it. He also has a unblockable finisher like that, and it can be soft feint to guard break, side light, or side heavy, which the side can be feinted. And
all his top heavies can actually be feinted into guard break.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned. But yeah, he really just has one opener, which is the pommel strike, but can be dodged. And really, you can also do mix up like that. But you know, people can also select.
Crack. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, and also he also has a strong zone, which does 20 damage for being very fast. He also has really good damage as well, and has one of the best dodge attacks in the game, but don't use it too much, otherwise you'll get parried. But the main reason why you have him A tier is because really he doesn't have that many openers to deal with. He just has the pommel strike, and if your opponent can deal with that, then really you just gotta play defensive, and you really, it's just, he has a lot of great mix-ups during his chain, but it's really hard to get into those like second or third chains. So that's all I gotta say for Kensei.
Okay, so in my opinion, I feel like Kensei, if I were to have one thing to say about it, is that he's the most balanced character in this game. He has a little bit of everything from every part of this game. He has hyper armor that comes in late, and he's got a bash that isn't the best. He's got hyper armor in his lights, a fast zone, some good damage, an unblockable, but he just has so little of everything in this game. He's just spread a lot too thin, and a lot of his moves that he has in his kit is just very situational, and he gets pretty predictable.
Yeah.
But if playing defensively, you can really make a lot out of his kit.
But yeah, if you play defensively, you can really, you know, make the best of it. But yeah, that's it for Kensei.
His dodge
really.
attacks are annoying, so if you're fighting Kensei, just wait for them. People will throw them.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all we gotta say for Kensei. He's just one of the most balanced characters in the game. Next up on the A tier, we have Lawbringer. Now, I was wanting to put him in B tier, but Salty convinced me to put him A tier because even though he doesn't really have the best things for neutral, doesn't really have a good opener from neutral, he has fast light attacks, good unblockable pressure with shove, and his unblockable finisher, and also has some pretty good damage. And like really helps him. He also has some of the best parry counters in the game, with a light parry guaranteeing top heavy followed by light for 50 damage, as well as heavy parry getting a stunning light attack, or a charged side heavy to wall splat for a top stunning heavy attack. Plus he also has the stampede charge, which is really fast, but can be
not stampede charge, dude.
Pull arm. But yeah, yeah, and also he has really fast lights, like his top is super fast. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say for Lawbringer.
Yep, so the reason I would put Lawbringer in A tier and I convinced Chaos is just because he's a still really defensively strong character. He's got some of the best parry punishes in the game, and it's just really good defensively, and you can't go wrong if you're a good player playing it. For some of the lower level players, you will not experience the same lengths of success with Lawbringer. You might not, that is. But with the higher levels play, if you know how to play Lawbringer, it's really going to be a treat for you guys to really hurt your enemies, being as totally as you possibly can. Now, everybody who plays Lawbringer, go out there and shout, "Id mortem inumicus" on the top of your lungs. Alright,
Yeah.
so that's all I gotta say about Lawbringer, and on to the next character.
Anyways, next up we got the autistic Chinese screaming boy Tianzi. So basically what he is, he has very fast lights, he has a good bash with the palm strike, and basically has really good dodges too. He can dodge out his attack recoveries, and he has a lot of great dodges with, you know, heavy dodges and light dodges, and he has really fast lights as well, and does actually some pretty good damage for a lot of his stuff. As well as his palm strike, you can do if your opponent dodges it, you can do a heavy, which is unremarkable, as well as some little things here and there, like has an R before dodge, heavy, and also has his light attack, dodge light attack is superior block, and yeah, he also has a kick. Oh, that can be done. He also has a kick, which can be done after a heavy or a dodge heavy, basically. No, that wasted it. But yeah, his dragon kick after a heavy attack or dragon dodge, follow up with a balancing kick by pressing, yeah, basically. And it's only if you hit it. And so basically, with that being said, his kick can be...
Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, but his kick can be dodged. You can dodge out of it to like a heavy or light attack to make your opponent pre-dodge, and plus the kick is not punishable. So But the thing is, though, he's just kind of, that's about it, really. And if your opponent can block your light attacks, you just gotta kind of play more dodging. And his dodges are just, but yeah, his dodges are really good, and also has a really good zone as well. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say for Tiandi.
Yep, so what I gotta say about Sandy is that the only reason I'm not putting him in S tier, well, not the only reason I'm not putting him in S tier, but one of the reasons why we're not putting him in S tier is that he's still very predictable, even though he's probably one of the fastest characters in the game and very interactable. He has a pretty decent bash and some pretty good damage heavies, and his zone's a really good option select. But the only problem I say with Tiandi is that you one have to be really defensive with him, and number two, that even though he's called the dodge specialist, so to speak, he's very stamina taxing.
Yeah, but that's all we gotta say for Tiandi, so move on to the next character.
I'm gonna eat your heart. I'm gonna eat your heart. I'm gonna hit your heart. I'm gonna eat your heart. Give me neck.
Okay, next up we got Shaman. Now, not much of a surprise. She has a lot of great mix-ups. Her lights are pretty fast. Good zone. Good bleed feints. Good mix-ups with the unblockable. Also has a good backstep heavy, as well as a good bash as well. And also has a really good dodge. As well as a good bite, but can be predicted a lot of the time. But the only reason she's not S tier is because, you know, her light attacks, you know, can kind of be blocked in high tier play and not as predicted. As well as some of her as well as her bleed feints too. And really, she relies on getting her opponent to bleed to get that pressure. But that's really, but you know, she also has a lot of good tools too. That's why she's A tier, because she still has a lot of good tools and openers. But that's all I gotta say for Shaman.
Okay, so me just reassuring you guys that Shaman is not broken.
Definitely not.
Yeah, the only thing with Shaman is that if you want to bleed me and try to jump back to hit me, can you bleed me? Stop!
Sure.
Stop playing, dude. Ugh.
There you
Okay,
go.
now dash back like you're trying to bite me. I'm just saying, if you were trying to bleed, it's a free guard break. So it's kind of predictable. At the higher levels of play, the dagger cancel is pretty easily parried as well. But she's overall a pretty good character. She's just, again, a little predictable at higher levels of play, but definitely a really rock solid character. Really good overall round. That relies on bleed a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all we gotta say for Shaman.
Hey guys, if this video like blows up, dude, I will bend down and give you free $5 sucky sucky. No charge.
Anyways, next up we got Shaolin. Now, a lot of people might expect him to be probably S tier or something, but you know, he has very fast lights and all that, but the thing is you can block them in high tier play. And he has a lot of great mix-ups, but like that just comes from his key stance. And really he doesn't have much else to get into his key stance unless fang heavies and all that. If your opponent can block the lights, then but his key stance is really good though. Like, he has a lot of great moves from there. Like, he has the undodgeable heavy, he has the kick, which is pretty good. He also has fast lights from there, pressure counter lights, as well as a good deflect. And also his zone is pretty
No, his
fast.
deflect's actually pretty bad. His zone is hard to block though.
And
Like,
his
you
zone
have
is
to actually
pretty good
reflect your guard
too,
to block
and
his
can be
zone.
cancelled. So yeah, that's all I got.
He does only 10 damage though.
Yeah, but that's all I got to say for Shaolin.
Yeah.
9. Okay, you're go talk salty.
I want to do something, but you're blocking my way.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I have to say about Shaolin, and I'm not gonna say too much more about him. He's got some pretty good, decent damage. His heavy damage is pretty low. He lacks to get into his combo sometimes, unless you're really trying to be gay and you're just sitting at the back of the map just waiting for queef stance, or like I like to call it, queef stance. But yeah, it's pretty gay. He doesn't get as much damage as he should get on some of his combos, and it's kind of hard to initiate some of his combos, and once you get down to it, he does start getting kind of stamina taxing. Mostly just from his queef stance, so. But yeah, that's all I gotta really say about Shaolin, other than he has a terrible deflect that only does 25 damage. Which you can get a free deflect, I mean a free guard break from after the deflect. And you have to free flicker zone. But he's just an average character in my opinion. But yeah.
But yeah, that's what we gotta say for Shaolin.
Yeah, I don't know. BTC.
Anyways, next up we have Highlander. Now, Highlander is, some people might say he's weaker, some people might say he's stronger, but the thing is, we think he's A tier because firsthand, he has a lot of slow attacks, especially his offensive lights, and but he does have hype armor, and he also has crusher counters, as well as but Celtic Curse mix-up, but it's really kind of useless in a kind of because it can be parried.
The higher level plays in just duels, it's kind of, I don't know, not as useful as it could be.
Yeah.
Highlander has a mechanism for punishing most attacks in this game.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, as well. Yeah,
it's pretty good. Also, he's got the best dodge recovery timer in the game. Just look how fast he can dodge out of attacks. Look at that, it's good.
Yeah, as well, he has a lot of great mix-ups, like the kick and the caber toss, and unblockable kick and the caber toss. Yeah, and he also does really high damage. But there's a lot of things in his kit, like, you know, very slow attacks in his defense stance, and you know, he also has like a bad zone. But that's really all it. But he's just a pretty good character overall, and that's all I gotta say for him.
There's a good way to transfer into your offensive, no, not your superior lights from you know, from offensive stance, so to speak. But his offensive lights are pretty useless because of how much stamina drain. You're only going to want to use them to finish off your opponent, or if you have full stamina and you're confident. Also, his lights are only 600 milliseconds, so they're not as good as they should be.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all we gotta say.
That's all. Highlander.
Yeah, that's all we gotta say.
Also, Celtic Curse is not really good in ones, but it's still useful.
Yeah.
The only time you're ever going to want to use it is so you can get your offensive stance quicker.
Yeah. But that's about it for Highlander. Okay.
Knowledge is power. So you guys have definitely noticed that we don't play all these characters, but I know every character's moveset by heart just because of how many times I've fought against it. And I also play on PC. I got a lot of them.
Yeah. But here's
so Hitakiri, the problems that Hitakiri have. Oh yeah. Okay, so we didn't even mention it, but yeah, next hero is Hitakiri. But the problems that Hitakiri has is that she can't chain, like through her zone or her dashing attack. There's no chain, and she's got really good early hype armor, so that helps her out. But even though she has tremendously good hype armor and she's able to trade, she kind of has, I don't know, some lower damage, so to speak. And her lights are also pretty easily carried at high level.
Yeah.
But very predictable, and a lot of people don't use the bash mix-up as they should.
But the bash mix-up is really good.
Speaking of the bash mix-up, I don't ever really see it, but it's a good one, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, she has really early hype armor, a lot of great hype armor moves. Her charge heavy's pretty good. Some good damage, as well as the bash mix-up being like one of the best in the game, no lie. And yeah, that's really all we have to say for Hitakiri. She just has a really small
simple character.
Really small moveset,
very simple character.
But yet she has really good
moveset. I forgot how to do the kick thing. I'm kind of
it's you press guard break.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. I'm slow. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but anyways,
let's
move on to the next.
My bad. So we're back, guys. Last but not least, you guys are probably going to disagree with a lot of us. Like, a lot of you guys are going to probably disagree with us, but the last and probably the strongest character on A tier, in both of our opinions, is Raider. And me, myself, I'm a very high rep Raider, so if you disagree, please take it up with me in the comment section. The reason why I think Raider isn't very as strong as some people say is in ones in particular is because people just continuously spam stunning tap and they think it's really going to get them a win, but it's really telegraphed, somewhat easily parried at certain levels of high level play. I wouldn't say it's easily parried, it's just really predictable, and when Raiders are predictable they get sloppy, and sloppy players don't. People don't utilize this hyper armor as they should, and I don't know, don't end up winning a lot. But Raider has fantabulous punishes and really good damage, and if you're somewhat patient with them and really aggressive, you can definitely win.
Yeah,
That's what I gotta say about Raider.
yeah, he has
Simple
really good
character.
damage. He has good mix-ups. Sometimes a good mix-up, all right, but you know if you do too much, then you'll get parried. Yeah, and not to mention he also has a lot of great punishes. He has good hype armor, got blockable pressure. He's just really strong in a lot of ways. Just really strong. But you know, he's not. In our opinions, we just think he's like almost at the S tier, but not there. So yeah, that's all we got.
Just because of his predictability.
So, yeah.
He just runs on one move the entire time. That's what I gotta say about him.
But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the S tier.
Okay, guys. There's one thing I forgot to say about Raider. I don't know how I could forget, but he's got really good out-of-lock pressure, which is Stampede Charge. Yup.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Anyways,
yeah, so
next
now
up,
we're on to the first S tier character,
which is Blackbriar.
Pepe.
Yeah, he's a good one because he has a really good bash, as well as a good defense with Bulwark. He has a good blockable, and just basically the Bulwark can counter all bashes and like unblockables. I'll do a heavy for you. I'll do a bash for you. Do a Bulwark. Yeah, but he can counter all bashes and unblockable attacks really, and that makes it really good. He also has crusher counters on his lights and dodge forward heavy, as well as good damage and a dodgeable heavy. And really the main reason why we put him S tier is because of his recovery. He has really fast recovery.
He has really good recovery, and it's really hard to punish him.
Yeah,
he's
you
a
can't...
simple but very strong character, and he has a very large skill gap. And certain higher levels of players are able to abuse him. And he has really good, easy access to pressure, which is through his unblockable.
Yeah. So yeah, and plus you can cancel recovery into a Bulwark.
And let's not talk about how you get 17 damage off of his dash. Move aside, move aside.
But yeah, he's really a pretty simple character, but a really strong one as well. Anyways, next up on the S tier we have Shinobi. He has the best mobility in the game, as well as a good defensive move, which is the backflip, which has super armor, as well as super armor during his kick and second part of his zone, and his deflect, as well as his what was the other one? Oh yeah, his sickle ring.
Yeah, his sickle ring's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. He also has
really bad though. Those range attacks are bad ones.
Yeah. He has 400 MS, 24 damage lights, one of the best parry counters in the game. Can get a good bleed, and he has really good damage on his heavies as well.
Let's not talk about his deflect being overpowered.
And he also has a really good deflect, probably the best, or one of the best, and as well as a good counterattacks. He's just a really good character overall, but the only
Quad
thing...
dash and really hard to punish.
Yeah. But the only thing the only kind of weakness that he has is his guard. But the thing is, you dodge a lot, so that really doesn't matter. Plus, his range attacks are pretty useless in duels. But yeah, that's really it for him. For Shinobi, he's a pretty simple character and really strong as well.
But also has a really big skill gap.
And needs a rework.
Really hard to punish.
And needs
really
a
hard to
rework.
punish.
And needs a rework.
Yep.
Anyways, guys, next up on the S tier we have Berserker. Now, pretty self-explanatory. He has some of the best hype armor in the game. Every attack has hype armor from 2 chains, and also feint openers have hype armor, as well as great mix-ups with very fast light attacks after heavy feints, and hype armor after every one of them, and also has good unblockable pressure with both the top heavy unblockable and the Bear Mauler finisher. And
really good recovery
he also has a decent he also has good damage, a decent deflect, good openers, and a good dodge attack that's undodgeable. And yeah, he just has a lot of great stuff, as well as a dodge recovery on missed attacks, as well as a blockable, which makes it really hard to punish him a lot of the time. And he also has a good zone as well, and you can do his zone after a missed recovery as well.
Hyper Armor King.
But yeah, anything you want to say, Salty?
Nothing. Actually covered everything. Berserker's a very simple character. You just gotta spam a lot. But no, I'm serious. No, I'm just playing. The higher level Berserkers really know how to get the job done with just intense mix-ups, using their hyper armor to their advantage, and really pounding on their opponents for making any type of defensive mistakes. Very good pressure, and just overall a beast of a character you're really gonna want to look out for in more than once. And with that said, on to one of the last characters on this list.
Yeah, move on to the next character.
Second but not first, the one and the only Conqueror White Snowboy. Okay, so as you guys expected, Conqueror is really high up on the tier list because a lot of his defensive capabilities go a long way for him. His option select with his zone, the full guard doing 30 damage, his infinite light chains at the lower levels, his variable timing bash that is really, really delayable, his superior dodges that guarantee stuff, and his superior heavies.
Yep. Really, yeah, he's just a really good
and being able to
character.
cancel out his recovery with full guard. And being able to really pounce on other people's mistakes by side dodging and just drill their bash.
Yeah, he's
Also
just
while
a,
having some pretty decent damage. And his heavies not being able to be guard broken.
yeah, he's just a really good character. Really good defensive capabilities with superior block heavies, all guard and zone. He has one of the best option selects in the game, one of the best bashes as well, fast lights, and just a really good kid overall, really. He can be
Grandma,
annoying.
where are my cookies?
He's a really good character overall, and yeah, he's, in our opinions, he's the second best dual hero in the game. So yeah, let's move on to the first. Oh, we cannot have, no, you cannot have sex. You didn't give me your consent.
We should say that. We should say that again.
No, no,
We
no,
should
no,
like
no.
we should like play. No, you know what you should do? You should have a black screen play in the background. You didn't give me your consent. You're catching this Conqueror in your butt. Something like that. It's awful.
Finally, last but not least, in our opinion, the best dual hero in the game is Warden. Now, not much of a surprise. He's a pretty strong character. One hand, he has probably the best bash in the game with a shorter bash. Can be variably timed, and first, second, level 1, level 2 shorter bash can be guarantees 18 damage. His full charge one guarantees top heavy for 40 damage, and he also has some fast lights, and as well as you can't really punish his shorter bash because you know he can.
You can
cancel
feint it so late into his animation.
Yeah, you can
if you try
feint
to
so
dodge
late.
roll it.
You can feint like
If
so
you try
late.
to dodge roll it, you get a free Vanguard's advance most of the time. So it's just very hard to, I don't know, punish Warden in any way, shape, or form. And the only reason he makes his F tier is because he just got overwhelming pressure from his shoulder bash.
Yeah,
There we go. I said
he also has more. He also has more options. Like he has a crushing. He has a crushing counter from the top. Like I'll show you. Like, there you go. That does like
chain and shoulder bash and multiple other things. It's just a really good tool.
yeah, and
His
as
zone
well
is
he
pretty
has.
good for finishing opponents, and his heavies do a lot of damage.
He also has.
I want to say
unblockable-
Warden. He also has an unblockable that has some decent pressure, but isn't the best unblockable. But it's there, pretty useful.
Yeah.
But I want to say that Warden's only weakness in duels, and why you might be crushing Wardens, is because you're either not good enough to beat your butthole right now, or they're struggling against your 400 millisecond bash because Warden has a slower bash. So if you know somebody else is playing Warden, I suggest you play a character like Conqueror, or somebody with a faster bash than Warden, and just use that to abuse them and take away the best tool.
Yeah.
But Warden's shoulder bash as a tool is probably, if not the best tool in the game, one of the best tools in the game. And a lot of people's opinions, that makes him the best dual character. If you disagree with anything that, where we put people in the comments, no, I messed it up. If you disagree
didn't.
wherever we put heroes in the tier list, tell us in the comments where you think the heroes should go and why you disagree with us. And without further ado, we'll probably see you guys next time.
Yeah.
But,
anyways, hope you guys.
Don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, hit the marking bell. And if you guys want to give us your own tier list or like say anything you agreed or disagreed with the tier list, please let us know. And if you want to say anything about Raider, please let that know to Salty, because he will surely break you down on why Raider's not OP. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.
Give me your booty, give me your booty.
Chaos out.